Welcome to one of the riskiest shows in the podcast world. It's called You Have to Meet My Friends. This is a show where I go live and then I call my friends randomly without them knowing, and they're on the podcast before they even know. So if you are one of my friends and your phone rings in the next couple of minutes, you'll know exactly why you won't know why I'm calling. You'll think that I'm calling to check in on you, but I'm not. I'm calling to have you on the podcast. So why don't we get this party started?
Nothing more on my mind. I got to shine, so every day I grind. Work in the morning, work in the evening. We's achieving, cause we believing. It's for certain, we put the work in. We ain't stopped just because it's hurting. Right before your eyes, so it's coming to no surprise. The takeover is televised. Over and over and over again. Make no mistake, we continue to win. Defeat never known, cause I will not lose. They wanna mimic my moves, but can't walk in my shoes.
So welcome to another episode of You Have to Meet My Friends, where I go live and I call my friends randomly. And when I call them, they have no idea that they're on the podcast until they're actually on the podcast. So let's call right away. Let's make sure that all the stuff is hooked up right away. So we're connected and we want to call. This is my big brother, Rob. So he's the top personal injury attorney in Las Vegas, and he does very serious work. He's the best at what he does, but his brother calls him all the time, and we're going to call him now and get him to connect with all of you guys. This is the fun part about.
Your call has been
there we
forwarded to voicemail.
So now we're going to go through and we're going to call my buddy Will. We'll see if we can get him. This is my best friend since fourth grade. And he sometimes works from home, sometimes works from the office, but hopefully he'll be able to call us or actually answer his phone this morning. I think that sometimes my friends are catching on to this. Is that 2 times we're going to get skunked?
Your call has been forwarded to voice.
So let's. Oh, that's not a good time. Oh my gosh. That's not a good time either. There we go. We'll have to cut that one out. But we'll see if this young man, this is John Elston. He's down in Cabo San Lucas. So,
Hey, my brother.
how are you doing this morning?
Good, buddy.
Awesome, man. I want you to know that you're the Michael Jordan of the hospitality industry. How do you like that for the morning?
I love it, man. I love it because my morning started at 3 a.m. your time. I'm in Washington, D.C.
Uh-huh.
Did a little breakfast meeting here that went really great, and now I'm hopping on a plane to Cleveland.
That's awesome, man. So what would
man.
what would you say right now, John, if you were live on the podcast?
What would I say if I was... Come on.
Hey, everybody, meet John Elston. John Elston is one of the most
Wow.
famous guys on LinkedIn. He's been out speaking, and he has no idea. This is an episode, John, of You Have to Meet My Friends, and you're on the podcast live. Say hello to everybody.
Wow. Hey, guys. How are you? So glad to be surprised.
So you've been up since 3 a.m. Tell me your highlight from
Yep.
yesterday.
Okay, my highlights from yesterday were getting up for my presentation, preparing for 2 weeks, and then at the last minute deciding to ditch all 17 slides and speak from the heart. And thank goodness I did, because halfway through the AV broke down.
Oh my
But
God.
I had already decided to leave that ship at the dock. So Yeah, I spoke for 90 minutes and it was so fun, so cool. I took so many takeaways from you and our brother James from our last time that we were together,
Yeah.
and just tried to feel blessed and tell everybody thanks for letting me have some of their time.
What would you suggest that for for a young speaker to ditch their
Never.
slide deck?
No, nope. I wouldn't recommend it to my worst enemy.
What'd you learn? Did you get hot? Did you sweat?
Well,
Did you?
no, no, I just kind of went, well, actually I did. I actually did take my tuxedo coat off halfway through. So
Okay.
uh, now realizing that I did that, I probably was overheating.
So I don't know if your ears were burning this morning, John, but I was on my dog walk this morning, and I met up with my friend Dane. He lives in my neighborhood. He was talking about shifting positions, right? And
Right.
he ran sports and entertainment for a long time, as far as like Barnum and Bailey and like Supercross and all these events. And then he went into the dentistry industry, and I asked him, I said, "Have you ever considered fractional leadership?" And he was like, he
Yeah.
kind of looked at me, and I was like, "You need to talk to my buddy John." He was like, I've heard of it, but I don't understand it. Can you break it down for people as far as this fractional leadership that you're doing?
Oh yeah. Super simple to explain. It's taking world-class talent and giving them the opportunity to cut back on some of the dedicated hours that they maybe put into a prior job or career opportunity, but take all of those skills into a smaller business where they can get just as much done in a fraction of the time. And it turns out, Kelly, it's a huge win-win, because that business is getting someone that they would never be able to afford, both from the experience and the salary standpoint, to bring them on full time.
Wow.
So it's really a super win-win for the individual. Like for your buddy,
Yeah.
the great thing is he can decide to take on 2 clients, right? So he could say, 10's not enough hours. I still want to, get out there a little bit and take on 2 clients and do 20 hours. So I've got clients that are saying, hey, 10 is great for me at this time of my life. And some are saying, I want 3. I'll work 30 hours and I'll make more than I was doing working 80 hours a week.
Wait a second.
So
a person would
yeah.
actually make more by working less.
Isn't that unbelievable? Now I feel like I'm on QVC.
Can you sell us this for $19.95 and give us a sham wow? Right.
I'll tell you what, I could sell it out, right? For sure.
But when a
And
person,
so now that you can probably hear the airport guys calling me to my seat.
are they? Do you have to get to your seat right now?
No.
Okay.
No, I got another minute.
Well, when you sit in the front of the plane like John Elston does, then you just have them sit around for waiting on
that's
you.
right.
So what would
And
you?
just so you know, this plane I'm getting on has exactly 18 seats. So everybody is sitting in the front.
Are you going to Fantasy Island or what?
I'm not sure. I can't even remember where I'm going at this point.
So, John,
Oh, brother.
help me with this. I know you got to get on the plane, but help me with this.
Yeah.
When I talk about third-party validation, what comes to mind?
Third-party validation. Wow. I'm not sure.
What about
Give me a hint.
What about third-party credibility?
Oh, third-party credibility
Yeah.
is huge. I mean, I'm just finishing up, an incredible book called Giftology, which is an incredible book. Everybody should go out and grab this book. It's new on the shelves, and it's all about the gift in the life of referrals and how presenting a great name and a great background to others and doing well will bring you more business than you could ever thought of paying for in advertising. So third-party referral is the way for you to go. And it reminds you that, we should be out there, keeping that in mind with everybody we do business with. Kelly, we get so focused on driving business and growing our own brand that we forget it's the people that we meet that are going to tell others about us, good and bad. So you don't know this yet because I hadn't had a chance to tell you, but there are 3 people that were at the Vibe conference who have referred me to people that weren't at the conference.
Wow.
Because they enjoyed the talk and the presentation. So that was one of the calls I did this morning. And there's another one I'm doing this afternoon with an incredible salon owner out of Florida. And she just heard about me from somebody that was at the Vibe. So it's the perfect example of third-party referral.
There
So
we go.
great.
There we go. We'll get on the
Yeah.
plane, have
Yeah.
fun.
Okay,
I
bud.
love you a bunch.
Hey,
Thanks
thank
for
you,
coming
man.
on the
Love you
podcast,
too.
man. Love you,
All
buddy. All right.
See you, brother. Bye.
Peace. This is the cool things that happen when we go live and call our friends randomly. Let's see on this one. This guy, I've actually wanted him to be on the podcast for so long, but he has never actually been on. And so let's see if we can trick him into answering his phone. This is Coach Gary, one of the baddest coaches, not only flag football, but otherwise.
Did I stress you out?
Coach Gary, you sent me a bunch of texts, man. That's a lot of texts, bro. How are you doing this morning?
Your question didn't require a one simple response. Did you read my text? Or do you not read?
I haven't yet. But I did have a question for you.
BS.
I did have a
No,
question.
you better read that. You better read it before you ask me any questions.
Okay, I'm gonna read it right now. But what I was saying is like, number one, I had a great time at dinner last night. Thank you so much, and that was awesome.
You're welcome. We did too.
Well,
Yeah.
the thing that really sparked me was that I had told you before, and I've told you this over and over again, that I got to have you on the podcast. It's a must. It has to happen. Is that cool?
Okay.
You promise?
Yes, 100%. Yeah, I'm more ready now than I've ever been. So
Okay. What if I told you were live right now on the podcast?
yeah. It would not be a good time because I've got 15 guys at my house.
Well, you are live on the show. You have to meet my friends, where I go live and I call my friends randomly and have them on the podcast. So say hello to the audience.
Okay.
Say hello to the audience.
Hey,
Coach
audience,
Gary.
how are you guys?
So I know you got 15 people, because what are you doing? You're building the Bellagio in your backyard. Yes?
Yes,
Yes.
we're building the Bellagio.
Okay. So help me, give me a couple of things, just because I know you sound like you're eating too. So you must be super busy right now, Coach Gary. But these other people are more important than your real friends in your life. So these 15
Yes.
people that are at your house. When it comes to relationships, right? And it comes to, the work that you do and the way that you coach people. Now, I said that you're the baddest coach as far as F&L in the world, flag football, but you're an even more elite relationship and what other type of coach would we say?
Emotional intelligence
Got it.
coach.
So because you have 15 people at your house and you're not going to give us that much time, what would be a bite-sized thing for someone to be able to wrestle with or chew on today that could help them in their emotional intelligence?
I would say one of the biggest things that I see that transforms lives the most, that's a simple concept but hard to practice, is learning how to practice the art of acceptance. And acceptance in life doesn't mean that I'm okay with what happens, doesn't mean that I like what happens and where I condone it or I just accept it as. It means that I accept what is. I accept that something is going on, let's say, if we're getting deregulated. And when we practice acceptance, then we could keep our heart and our brain calm enough to go, okay, I don't like this. Let's say if it's something that was negative or something that happened to us and we're deregulated, we accept it. Okay, this is what happened. Take our breath and then go, okay, I don't like this. So how can I change it in a positive way? Versus the other side of it is something happens and then we go into resistance because we don't like what happened. So we fight it. And the moment we start fighting it, what happens in our brain is our amygdala gets hijacked and our brain goes immediately into survival brain, which is, if it goes into survival brain, then you're not using your conscious brain, you're in your conscious brain to solve the problem. You're now reacting out of a conditioned patterned response. And so that is, if we practice acceptance, we're able to use our conscious brain, which is our intentional brain, to solve problems. If we don't practice acceptance, we go straight into resistance, and then we use a conditioned response, which is what we call our conditioned emotional behavior response or pain cycle. There's a couple of different ways to describe it.
You're a genius.
That would be one thing that somebody could think about.
Well, this is the cool thing, because I get to spend time with you, and just hang out, laugh, stuff like that. But also I have access to you because you're my friend, which I think is amazing. I know you got 15 people and you're building the Taj Mahal in your backyard, Coach Gary. But enjoy the
Yes.
day. I will read the text, I promise you. And then when I read the text, then I'll send you back a very brief voicemail.
That sounds good.
Sound good, man? Have a great day, man. Love you, buddy.
Thank you, my brother. I love you.
Love you too. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
This is the crazy thing about the shows here, is we get the opportunity to be able to meet and connect with some of the coolest people in the world. I'm going to do one last one. Let's see if we can get him, because this is, if you guys watched Pawn Stars. So Pawn Stars, this man is called the History Hunter, and he was on, I think, 70 or 80 episodes of Pawn Stars as the World War II weapons expert.
You've reached Craig Gottlieb's phone. He's busy, so leave a message and make his day great again.
That's Craig. He just texted me and said that he'll call me back. So let's see if we can finish on a high note with one last one. Let's see. I'm going to call Mr. This one is great because I love this man and he has no idea that I'm going to get him on right now too. Coach Keith Hale, an incredible, incredible coach, but has the receipts to be able to do it. He was one of the incredible developer. He retired at 28 years old as an absolute beast in business, but realized that it wasn't about doing, it was about being. And when he realized that, it almost cost him his life. And now he's helping people to realize that they just need to be and not do. So let's see if we can get Coach Keith.
Hey, what's going on, man?
What up, Keith? How you doing, buddy?
I'm hanging. How are you?
Awesome, man. Where are you at? You up north? You down south? Where are you at?
I'm up north, man. We're moving in all the stuff out of the house. I sold the house up here, so this is like the move, a couple days and
Congratulations.
all that stuff.
That's amazing,
Thanks, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. I had a question for you this morning. I don't want to take too much of your time. I was gonna see.
No, you're good. No, I'm chill.
Can we schedule another time for you to be on the podcast?
Yeah, anytime.
Well, how about that time is right now because you're on live the podcast. So Keith Hale, everyone, say hello, Coach Keith.
Oh wow, I love it. What's up, everybody?
So it's a show I think I've told you about. It's called You Have to Meet My Friends, where I go live and I call my friends randomly and they don't know until they're on the podcast, Keith. So you're on. So
I love it, man. Yeah.
Hey, tell me about third.
I had the kids here, man. We're moving, but they all just left me because I got to run to the bank, man. It's like, dude, like.
Well,
First of all,
what
I
you got?
hired movers, but there's still stuff I got to move, and moving sucks, man.
What is the worst part about moving for you?
Oh, it's not even the big stuff is fine because I love to lift stuff, and even though I didn't lift anything to be honest, but it's just a little tedious stuff after the move. It's like, God, I got this and I got that and I got this and I got that. It's horrible, so here I am just knocking this stuff out. The kids went to, I don't know, they went for a 4-hour workout or something. I have no idea.
They went for a 4-hour workout. What are they doing?
They're avoiding me.
Exactly.
With,
Hey, what's the pops lessons that you're trying to give them that they're trying to stiff arm right now?
Man, hard work, man, always pays off, right? Pride in what you do, is yours. Care for it like it is yours always, right? Work hard.
Yeah.
Don't let anybody else do stuff that you can do for yourself, man.
I mentioned something at the Vibe experience when I introduced you, but I wanted more of an applause, and hopefully people will give this to you more and more as we go. But you retired for the first time at 28. How is that even possible?
You know what? I think it's possible because people thought it was impossible, right? And so I think a lot of people want to work to make as much money as possible, which I can, but I was able to make a lot of money fast because I learned something that someone taught me
What'd you
in
learn?
mortgage business. I learned how to be a private money lender in the mortgage business, and when I did that, I was able to raise a lot of money. And when I went and raised, I raised $100 million. I put all the money out, and then I realized I had like almost $4 million in the bank, and I was like, you know what? I don't have to work anymore. So instead of we kept going at that point, I'm like, you know what? My son was young. I just want to spend time with my son, and so I'm just going to chill. So I did.
What unlocked, because when people hear those figures, and you move through it kind of quick, when a person hears those figures, a lot of times they shut down. What was the little things that you put in a line, like those little inch stones that you put in line, that was like, oh no, I'm just stacking this little bit by little bit, right? Because if you were to say to someone, go get $4 million tomorrow, it's going to overwhelm them.
Yeah.
Although if you do it dollar by dollar, hundreds or thousands at a time, you can actually do it. But what was that thing that unlocked in your brain?
Yeah, it just one, I had a belief because I had a very wealthy uncle, and I saw him do it. So I was like, go ahead, it's possible. And then my mentor, who was my friend's dad, was making a lot of money, and every time I had doubt, he would replace my doubt with something positive. So I would say like, he'd say like, oh yeah, you're gonna be a millionaire. I was like, yeah, right. He's like, well, I'm a millionaire, and then he let me drive his Porsche to lunch. And it was like, wow, man, so it's like, these are all things that that I didn't realize were possible. I mean, I didn't have any money. I had nothing. I worked for him. I mean, I made my first 100 grand. I thought I was rich, and he laughed at me. He's like, yeah, there's a lot more coming. And I just kept doing the work. I was the first one in the office. I was the last one to leave, and I learned I did exactly what he told me to do, and I didn't do anything my way. I didn't like reinvent something because I thought his way didn't work. I did exactly what he told me to do when he told me to do it. And it just kind of, it was in a time zone where the mortgage business was booming and things were much different than they are today, of course. So I'm not saying you can't do it today, but you just have to see the reason why I'm a coach is because most people believe things aren't possible. They believe, and and as a kid, I always had a wonder of, why did some people drive Mercedes and Porsches and Bentleys and other people drive Hondas and Toyotas? And what I found through my research, which I did as a senior in high school, I went around to everyone's door, knocked on it. I asked them what they did for a living, and if they teach me one thing about what they did. And what I found was the people in the affluent neighborhoods were all self-employed. 97% were self-employed.
Wow.
The other ones in the non-affluent areas were people that work for these people. And so when I realized that, I go, wait a second. So you can have your own business. You can work for yourself. Some people are choosing not to. And when I looked at all the reasons why, it was because the sacrifice of time, sacrifice of money, sacrifice of the risk of money, rather, the sacrifice of time with family, and the belief that they can't do it because someone told them along the way it wasn't possible, so they went and got a job. So when I realized, like, wait a second, you can have whatever you want as long as you want to work hard, risk something, and sacrifice time. At that point, I was like, you know what? All I have to do is do what he tells me to do. I'm willing to put it all on the line. I'm willing to sacrifice time, and that's it. And here we are.
Wow. Coach, I mean, it's incredible, man. I know you got to get back to moving. I got a couple things to do. Hit me with a little bit about friendship and what you've learned in friendship over the last maybe year and a half.
Our friendship, or just friendship in general?
Just friendship in general.
Well, here's what I'll say about that. It'll be real simple. How can you talk about friendship if you're not being a friend? So a lot of people are always calling saying, oh, this person did this to me and this person did that to me, and I have a gripe with this person. And what I always ask them, the first question I ask, well, what kind of friend are you being to them?
Wow.
And what kind of friend are you being to yourself? Because see, friendships will only go as deep as your vulnerability will allow them to go. So most people have surface friendships and they wonder why. Well, because you're surface. You're continuing to be surface. You don't go deep in your darkest areas of places that you don't want people to know how bad you hurt.
Mm.
When you cry at nighttime, you don't tell your friends. You show up as everything is okay, and you don't tell people your deepest, darkest secrets. And then you want to have a friendship, and you wonder why your friendship is surface. You wonder why your marriage doesn't work. You wonder why people at work don't like you. There's no mystery.
Mm. What is one thing that a person could do today to start on their journey? Because the start generally stops people, right? And again, when we look at the $4 million in the bank, it starts with the dollar. It starts with one little action. What is one thing that a person could put in line today that would start to shift their reality tomorrow?
Start with your why. Write down your why. What is your deepest why? It's not money. It's not money. Money is not a value. Your why is because you want your kids to have a better life than you had. You want to give something back to your family, your wife, your mother, your father. You want to achieve something before they pass away, right? And then write down all the things that you value. And then when those things line up, your success starts to happen because you're now doing things that are in line with your true self.
Mm.
Versus things that you have to do because your friend made money in real estate, your friend made money in comedy, your friend started a podcast, so you should start a podcast too. But it doesn't really align with your value system or who you are as a person. It doesn't line you up to your higher self. When you line up to your values, your higher self, and your purpose, the rest falls in place.
Bang. Coach Keith, you're incredible, man. But I don't want you to hire any more movers. I just want you to do it by yourself. All by yourself, without your sons. Where's Keith Jr. right now? I know he got some big muscles.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, man. Where is Keith Jr., man? He's probably out somewhere writing an insurance policy for someone or something, man. Who knows?
Hey, what's your prediction for the Warriors tonight?
Warriors sweep, man. Warriors gonna sweep. Curry, my boy Curry.
Yes.
That's my boy.
Yes.
They sweep, and we go on and we get to the finals, the final.
You know what's crazy, and I'll let you go with this. My brother said it the other day, and I never thought about this. He said, "Come with me for a second. Don't resist it right when I say it, but come with me." And I was like, "All right, I'm cool. I trust my brother." He was like, "Okay, think about it. 96 Bulls. You got Jordan. Watch this. You got Jordan. You got Pippen. You got Rodman. Now watch this comparison he made. Rodman, Draymond. Pippen, Butler, Jordan, Curry.
Man.
I never connected the two. I never connected those two. Now, some people would say it's blasphemy saying that Michael Jordan and Steph Curry, but I'm saying that you've got this unreal force of nature in Curry. You've got the defensive and scorer in Jimmy Butler. And if you look at their stats, my brother was talking about it, you look at Jimmy Butler and Scottie Pippen, stats almost exactly the same. If you look at a Draymond, you look at a Draymond and you look at a Rodman, stats almost the same. I mean, Draymond, like maybe not as many rebounds, but arguably if we're looking at the 96 Bulls. And then here was the other thing, Keith, is what he said is now you add in a Luke Longley, who didn't really matter, a John Paxson or whatever it is. And on the Warriors with those three, then you add in a Pajemski, you add in, who else we got? We got Post, or you got what's his name? Moody. And these are role players to be able to play, but I never made that connection point.
I know, man. That's deep. And if you think about it, Steph Curry is the best player in basketball, period. Today's game, there's just not a better athlete or player than Steph Curry.
Yes.
So, when you look at Steph Curry, it's like arguably you go back to that team and say, who would you rather have on the team? I don't know. Curry can put the ball from anywhere. That is so deadly when you can take the ball from half court, take one step and make that shot 98% of the time.
He's unreal.
The passes he makes, the shots he makes, we're seeing legacy of history. We'll never see another player like him.
Yeah.
We haven't seen one since Jordan. And Jordan was a different player, but Steph Curry is an all-around basketball player. And I don't care if people say LeBron, whatever. LeBron is LeBron. and he's good at some things, but he will never go down as a Curry.
Yeah.
He'll never go down as a Jordan. He'll never go down as a Pippen.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's in, and I don't want to pun on Larry Bird, but he's in Larry Bird categories. He's in those categories.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I absolutely agree, man. Well, I love you a ton. I've got to roll.
I love you too, brother.
But I will talk with you soon, and I'll call you a little bit later today. Sound good?
Okay.
Love you, buddy.
Sounds good, brother. Have a good day.
Okay.
Love you too, man.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
This is why this show is so much fun, is because you get a mixed bag of everybody, and these are all my friends. I go live. I call my friends randomly, and they don't know they're on the podcast till they're on the podcast. Share this with a friend. My name is Kelly Cardenas, and I'm officially off the hot seat. Peace, love, and soul.
Nothing more on my mind. I got to shine, so every day I grind. Work in the morning, work in the evening. We's achieving, cause we believing. It's for certain, we put the work in. We ain't stopped just because it's hurting. Right before your eyes, so it's coming to no surprise. The takeover is televised. Over and over and over.